What's going on? 22 here with another cameo or first appearance. And as the thumbnail sits there and shows you, we're going to be talking about Red Hulk and Gambit today. I want to give a special shout out to Michael Baker and to Cody at the channel. Where did you get that? Please go show these guys some love on Instagram and YouTube. Baker was the one that sat there and said something about, hey, you know, how about you do the Red Hulk and how about you do Gambit? And Cody also chimed in and said, hey, how about you do Gambit? Thank y'all very much for these ideas. Greatly appreciated. Without further ado, let's go ahead and let's jump into Red Hulk and look at his first, quote-unquote, first appearance. The market says that Hulk 1 is the first appearance of Red Hulk. It's got an amazing cover, as you see right here. Definitely the first cover appearance, and a great cover on top of that. What I've always heard, though, before I ever looked inside the book, was that Red Hulk was never actually in this first issue. And so I've always been intrigued by that everybody thought that, like, everybody was like, oh yeah, this is first appearance of Red Hulk and all this other kind of stuff. So let's actually take a look at the panel. Let's take a look at the pages and see what the book actually has inside. So the first page is this one right here. And from what I can gather, Doc Samson right here is kind of setting the scene of Abomination's death. Because, spoiler alert, that's what happens, and that's what starts this whole thing, is that the Abomination has been murdered, and they're trying to find out who did it. They suspect that the Hulk, Bruce Banner, did it. So we have this, like, what looks like a flashback or a dream type sequence or whatever the case is. You got the Hulk right here in the middle, or what looks like a Hulk in the middle, and it's just all these, like, flashback or, like, mental scenes are in green. So we got him right there in green, and then, you know, we got him tapping the shoulder of Abomination. So first page, if anything, to me, this would be a glimpse appearance. Second page, we've got the Abomination, and then we got a pretty good look at a Hulk right here. And, you know, on this bottom panel, and they're acting out, you know, the fight and stuff like that, Samson and She-Hulk are. So I say we got a good look at what looks to be the Hulk on this panel. The next page, another glimpse type appearance, and then way far in the back. So that doesn't tell me anything really. Then you get this one right here, and you know, he's standing over the Abomination, but then you see the Hulk holding a gun. And since this was the first of a new Hulk run, you know, there's no telling what the artist was thinking as far as like interpreting with the Hulk look, especially when people were like picking up the book. Like, I know that there's a Red Hulk on the cover, but you know, sometimes the cover can differ from the interiors. This is a good look though, this bottom panel right here of the Hulk. And then we get this big splash page. And I know like my screen's kind of cutting some of it out, but we get to see, you know, the up close look at the face of the Hulk. My question though is that, like, that's all you get. That's all you get in the rest of there's a fight that breaks out between the Winter Guard and like She-Hulk, Iron Man, Doc Samson, and that's like pretty much the rest of the book. And then like it ends on a little girl that keeps saying red, and that's all that she keeps saying is red. And so my question is that, like, does a flashback sequence, does a mental thought sequence, does that count as a first appearance? I kind of lean towards that it does, because like they stick with this same look. However, you still don't see him as red though. And then, you know, people want to sit there and say, oh, well, you know, they have to be part of the story for it to be a first appearance. Well, he's not really part of the story. This is all like a flashback scene here. So if it's being part of a story that makes it a first appearance, it kind of falls apart on this book right here. But that puts more emphasis on what I always talk about, which is the cover is what sells the market as far as what a first appearance is most of the time. So let's take a look and see what CBCS and CGC say as far as first appearances and stuff like that. We'll start off with the popular CGC. It does say first appearance of Red Hulk, Iron Man, Doc Samson, She-Hulk, and Winter Guard appearance is what CGC has on this label. Now let's check out what CBCS says. First appearance of General Thunderbolt Ross as Red Hulk. Death of Abomination, Emil Blonsky, She-Hulk, Iron Man, and Doc Samson appearance. So both companies say this is the first appearance of Red Hulk. Now let's jump over to Hulk number 2. We also have in this one a cover appearance of the Red Hulk. It's kind of reflecting off Iron Man's mask right there. This is one that I've been able to pick up and stuff like that. I still think it's a good book to buy because of how like out of reach Hulk 1 is starting to get and stuff like that. But let's check out and let's see what the actual pages look like. So the first time that you see anything Red Hulk related in the book, I can't remember how far into the book it is, which pages and stuff like that, but I think this is around page 4. But we get this like splash page looking like this 2-page splash page kind of looking thing, where Red Hulk arms are coming in on She-Hulk. And this one right here, this I think is the best Red Hulk just shot, and really the first time you see the Red Hulk in story and things like that is this other page, splash page right here of the Red Hulk coming at Iron Man. This is like the first time you really see him in action, in story, doing something. After that, you get more of just him battling Iron Man. So, lots more Red Hulk in this second issue. So if you're one of those who's like, hey, I think that the first appearance of a character is, you know, when you fully see them and they're like in the story or they're part of the story, Hulk 2 is your book then. Because to me, Hulk 1 is all flashback. Now, I would consider Hulk 1 to be the first appearance of Red Hulk. And it's only because you fully see him and they stick with that whole look throughout the next issue as well. And then on top of that, like you fully see him as Hulk on the cover of the book. And so between, you know, that and the interiors, I think that gives you a good idea of like, yeah, that's the red. And then the little girl in the back saying, hey, you know, saying the color red. They can let you know, like, yes, that's the first appearance of Red Hulk. Let's see what CGC though and CBCS say about this Hulk 2 book. All it says is Iron Man and She-Hulk appearance. That is it. Let's see what CBCS says if they have anything else other to say than that. Again, Iron Man cover and appearance, She-Hulk appearance, and that's it for CBCS. So, both companies seem to be on par, Hulk 1 being the first appearance of Red Hulk. I do tend to agree with that, especially seeing the panels and stuff like that now. Again, this is just to make you aware, because I know collectors collect different ways and stuff like that, and they look at the first appearances in different ways. Alright, let's move on to Gambit. This is a highly debated issue as far as which book is actually Gambit's first appearance. A lot of people look at the Uncanny X-Men 266 right here. Great cover. Definitely first cover appearance. He's on the cover. Other than, you know, he's got that questionable attire on that everybody likes to talk about. But yeah, let's go ahead and let's dive into this one because this is what everybody talks about as far as being like the first appearance of Gambit. Now let's let this be known though as well as we start to dig into this. This book came out or went on sale around July of 1990, whereas X-Men Annual 14 went on sale in June. Now the story is that 266 was supposed to come out before Annual 14. However, that's not what happened. So, again, let's look into this Uncanny X-Men number 266. Of course, here's the cover of it. Here is our first look and glimpse our first look at Gambit. This is not a glimpse appearance. You can clearly see him as plain as day. Looks very much like Morpheus from the Sandman, which is really it just struck me because I've never actually looked at the interiors of this book, so it threw me off a little bit. Another thing that threw me off as we get into more panels of this book, and from here on out, he's pretty much throughout the book, and you see him and he does stuff, but he doesn't have the classic like purple, pinkish like energy coming from him. It's all green, all of it was green, and I'm like, why? I don't know why they changed it. So I don't know if was it because of the cartoon? Was it like did they change it in the books beforehand? I don't know. It's something that I want to find out now. So again, like I said, he is present throughout the rest of this book after this. So he is fully within the story and whatnot like that. Lots of dialogue as well. But so yeah, like this is definitely he's got an appearance here. But the debate is whether or not this is his actual first appearance or not. Let's look and see, let's see what CGC and CBCS have to say about these books. We're going to start off with CGC right here. Let me blow this up. It does say first full appearance of Gambit, Mystique appearance underneath that. And look at the date up there. It says August 9th of 90. So, but this was like on sale in July of 90. Or maybe it was published in July of 90. I'm not sure how all that works. But let's look at what CBCS has to say and if it's the same. If they're on par. Alright, so this is interesting here. First appearance of Gambit in continuity. Mystique appearance. Nanny and Orphan Maker cameo. So CBCS goes out of the way to sit there and say, in continuity, this is the first appearance, which goes back to what I was saying about how 266 was originally supposed to come out before Annual 14. So I think that's okay. Like, at least they acknowledge it. Now let's check out X-Men Annual 14. This, to me, has got a crazy looking cover. I'm not very fond of this cover. But let's look at the actual Gambit appearances that are within this book. So here's the first time that we see Gambit. You'll see him in that top right corner over there where he's hiding in the bushes with Storm. I will say that throughout this book, his appearances more or less are like in these blue tinted, red tinted panels, which is really odd. But they do call him by name and stuff like that within this book. And it just, there is dialogue between him and Storm, and he does fight within this book as well. More panels over here to the left. They're coming down a ladder at the very bottom. You see a profile, but that would be like a glimpse. If that was the only thing, that would be a glimpse right there for me. But they come face to face with Cable. Let's check out this next page right here. More red tint covers, which just baffles me. We see him again, the back of him anyways, in this panel right here. And that's pretty much it on that page. Let's go to another one. Here we go, we got full color. But you can see him right there in that top panel, like full costume, everything full colored. Everything that you're going to see in Uncanny X-Men 266 as well. He's also seen behind the couch, a little further away and stuff like that, but he's still there. And then you can see him behind Cable in this bottom panel as well. Maybe it's not enough of his appearance. Maybe you can't see him as clearly. I mean, I think it's pretty obvious who that character is as we get going and stuff like that. So to me, X-Men Annual 14 is the first appearance of Gambit, in my opinion. That's the first time that we've seen him. That's the first time he was published, put on sale, things like that. Let's take a look and let's see what the grading companies say, though, about this. We'll start off with CGC. X-Men Annual 14. Let's blow this up. We've got Fantastic Four Ahab appearance. Gambit cameo. Predates Uncanny X-Men 266. So, CGC acknowledges that it pre-exists the one that everybody calls the first appearance. And even they call the first appearance. But they still call it a cameo. Pinups by Kevin Nolan and Michael Golden. So, there's where CGC stands as far as what they acknowledge this book to have. Let's go over to CBCS. Let's blow this up. We've got first published appearance of Gambit, Remy LeBeau, X Factor crossover, Fantastic Four New Mutants appearance. With all that being said, they still first published appearance of Gambit. So I find it very odd, honestly, that nobody will take a stance and sit there and say, like, I guess CGC does take a stance, but then at the same time, when you get to this book, they kind of like back away from it a little bit. So, but they also call it a cameo in that one as well. Yeah, tell me down in the comments, like, what do you think? Which first appearance, is it Red Hulk 1 for you? Is it Uncanny 266 for you? Is it a combination? Like, you know, your Red Hulk on your Hulk 1 on one, but you're actually Annual 14 on the other. Let me know down in the comments which one of these is your true first appearance of these characters. I'm interested to know. Also, while you're there leaving comments, please go ahead and leave me characters that you think or you would like to see on Cameo or first appearance. Thank y'all so much for watching. I greatly appreciate it. You can find me on Instagram and eBay at 22_comics. You can also find me on a podcast called Comically Comics. New episodes drop every Monday wherever you listen to podcasts. Google, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all the places. Once again, thank y'all so much for watching. And as always, y'all have a good one.